Today we're going to talk about the 13 lessons that I have learned about selling and closing in the past 15 years. My name is Michael Marive, and I was able to build a team of 150 plus sales guys in less than 2.5 years. We did that with zero money invested, and now we have a solar company, we have a real estate investment company, we have a lot of other cool companies that are here to help you guys out to get to the next level. So let's get into the details. So one of the things I learned over the past 15 plus years of selling is that, there's a lot of ways to make a lot of money, and sales is one of those ways. But if I understood these things when I first started out, oh my God, it would have been so much easier for me to make a lot of money. So number one, okay, these are lessons that I learned about sales and closing. So listen very closely. Number one, solve problems of rich people. They always pay better, right? If you're selling a product, find a product where you can solve someone's problem that is a rich person because they have more money. If you solve people's problems that are poor, they're not going to be able to pay you. So solve rich people's problems. They pay way better. Number two, always sell on value, never on price. As a matter of fact, price never freaking matters, right? Always sell on the value. The greater the perceived value, the more money you can make in the transaction. Number three, never accept no as an answer. A lot of times there have been customers that said, no, I'm not interested, and guess what? I pushed a little bit, persevered a little bit, been persistent a little bit, boom, I got the sale. And those are the customers that you actually want. You don't want the customers that are easily influenced. You want the customers that give you a little bit of nudging. Why? Because those are much easier to lock in because no one else is going to steal them from you, especially if you're doing cold prospecting or cold calling, right? Number four, remember to build your confidence in believing in the business, the product, the service first. Everyone's trying to go out there and convince everyone else. The first person you need to convince is yourself. So once you learn to build your confidence in you, the product, the service, it's much easier to convince and persuade other people. So build your confidence in believing first. Number five, surround yourself with others who are selling more than you. Don't run away from the heat. If someone's closing more than you, try to be around them. Figure out how they're closing more. Figure out being around someone that's sharper than you, better than you, faster than you, that's making more money than you. Why? Because you can learn from the person that's already doing it. Why would you want to hang around people that are just as good as you? You want to learn from someone that's already done it and is doing it consistently. And that's why it's very important. I wish I knew this early on, to hang around people that were making more money than me instead of running away from them, being a little bit afraid, right? Or a little bit intimidated. Number six, always ask questions. Always ask questions. As a matter of fact, I used to have a lot of people early on in my career ask, why do you ask so many questions? You're so annoying. I'm like, no, dude. I'm asking questions because I want to learn. I'm asking questions because I'm curious. And because I asked more questions, I was able to understand more. Because I was able to understand more, I was able to make more. Does that make sense? Very important. Never stop asking questions. Number seven, never, ever speak more than the prospect. Ever. Let the prospect do all the talking. You have to get really good at asking the right questions and getting information and data from the customer. You ask, they talk. You gather the data, you close the deal, they get the product, you get the money. That's how it works. Okay? Number eight, proper prospecting creates great customers, right? A lot of times you have a lot of people saying, oh, I want appointments given to me. No problem. But the money comes in the prospecting. How you prospect will determine how the customer shows up to the appointment, right? So when we teach our solar guys how to set appointments properly, the prospect is where the money is made. Learning to prospect the customer and prime them and pre-frame them properly so that when they show up to the appointment, they're closable for the closer, right? Very important. Number nine, sell to people who suffered long with the problem that they actually have. I'll give you an example. If someone's been suffering for something for about a week, they're less likely to jump on solving that problem. But if they had that problem for a year, not only will they want to solve the problem faster, but they're also willing to pay more money to solve that problem. So always focus on people or find prospects that have actually suffered for a very long time with the existing problem that they have that your product can actually solve their problem for, right? Number 10, learn to combine marketing with selling. It just makes your life so much easier. Just selling is difficult. But if you combine marketing and selling, it just becomes an easy ball game for you. So if you're a CEO, you have a bunch of sales guys out there, figure out a way to market properly and also teach them how to sell properly, because those two combinations will make you a shit ton of freaking money. Number 11, sell on emotions and logic and remove any limiting belief factors before you ask for a yes. If you're just trying to sell them on emotion or just on the logic, it's not going to work. You have to sell them on the emotion, on the logic, and remove their limiting belief factors. Extremely important. When you do those three things, they're more likely to say yes. So they have to emotionally understand why this product will change your life. It needs to solve that emotional situation. It needs to solve their problem by understanding it logically. They didn't understand logically why it makes sense for them. And then you have to also be very careful to figure out, why didn't they do this before? What's holding them back? Why are they saying no before? Why didn't they buy it before I got here? Figure out what that limiting belief factor is, solve it, boom, you got the customer to say yes. Number 12, This is a good one. Inception is always easier and better than convincing. I don't want to convince anybody, man. If I can convince you to do something, someone else can convince you not to do something. I'd rather have you come up with the idea and incept in your mind that you come up with the idea, you came up with the strategy, you came up with the game plan. I just facilitated and helped you in that process. And that's what a true master salesperson does. The true master salesperson is like a consultant. He ain't a salesperson, he's a consultant. And I wish I would have known this earlier on in my career because I would have been less banging my head against the wall. Last but not least, number 13. This is a powerful one. And if you forget everything I just said, remember this one thing, you'll make a lot of money. When people trust you, you don't have to sell much. When their trust is high, you don't have to sell. Think of it this way. If you just call your mama right now, say, yo, mom, I need you to buy this product right now. I need it right now. Buy this shit right now. She's probably going to say, okay, here's my credit card. Okay, why? It's your mama. She trusts you. She loves you. She knows who you are, unless you burnt that trust on some other way. But for most of us, right, our mamas will be like, you know what, here. Why? Because she trusts you, right? And that's the power of trust. When somebody trusts you, there's less convincing needed. That's why in multi-level marketing companies, they always say, call your friends and family. Why? Because they're the easiest people to convince. They already know you. They trust you. And that's the powerful thing about trust. Learn to get people to trust you. What your goal is not to sell them the product. Learn and master the game of having people trust you. Once they trust you, it's easy to sell them. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully this made a lot of sense to you. Hopefully these 13 lessons that I've learned over the past 50 years can change your life and get you to master sales. If you love this kind of content, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend, and we'll see you guys in the next video.